We offer the best grooming products for you, Dress all natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be your swagger, your style, class, and luxury. We make our products tailor-made for you with high quality. Yeah. So get in style with the Black yeah. Company to give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah. The Black Gentleman Black, yeah. Company to give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to the Tuesday Tussle for this Tuesday, August 26th, 2025. We're calling this one Integrity. At what price do you compromise? Yeah, because we've had a lot of information going around to exemplify a person that can be on the level, can be taken at a price. A person that has no levels can be taken at a price. There's a thin line between the two. But one who's steady, who can hold the fort, which is an admirable trait to have within human characteristic, albeit not popular, but it's enlightening, enriching, an example to be set. And I'm here to talk about it this evening because there are things that need to be said. And of course, even out here with what we do on these airwaves, YouTube, Twitch, various other social medias, where social influencers, as they're being called nowadays, can show their tempted integrity and at what price they've compromised. Yeah. Some things are not for sale. Some things should not be sold. And as the old saying goes, the game itself is to be sold and not told. Many may understand that, and a few others may find it to be a riddle. But such is life. I talk about boxing and life and boxing. Yeah. Canelo Alvarez endorses a brand, I have the hiccups. He endorses a brand that says boxing is life. Life is a fight, a battle that persists until the day we no longer have life coursing through our veins. Sometimes you have to pick the battles. Sometimes the battles pick you. But as Odin told his sons in the movie Thor, Loki and Thor, a king should never go around seeking war, but he should always be prepared for battle. Yeah. Want to take a quick moment to see who we got in the chat. Some of you were out there a little bit early. Some people sending me messages on my image that I put up on my post page from yesterday where I was talking about I wasn't going to be able to do the Nerds show last night. It'll be back next week. But I think that image kind of struck some people, because to see such a handsome brother such as Stormy B Man donning the stars and the stripes, gives a whole new image, don't it? Yeah. You're welcome, Shield and all. Yeah. Mr. Shelton, LDBC or nothing in the building early. Antonio MMA out there. Universal Truth is back with us saying salute Sensei in chat. Eric Jordan is out there. Mr. Shelton says, hey Stormy, is it okay if I use that meme you did with Captain America on your post page? No. Because that is something that's solid, brother. It's not to be played with. And I know how you are with those memes, Mr. Shelton. So to answer you in the most courteous way I can. Fuck no! Yeah. Dank Father in the building. What's happening with you? My brother Drew Titan LLC is in the building. Who else we got out there? A couple of y'all conversing with one another. Steph Brown is back. He says, be well, Stormy B Man. Salute our chat family who's in this evening. Appreciate the tussle. Integrity. God be with you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who else we got out here? Man, this is kind of, I ain't got my glasses on. It's kind of messing with me this evening. Main Biker, what's happening with you, man? You've been away for a minute. Good to see you back. Antonio says, I'm in here till the end tonight, Stormy. Yeah, okay, I got you. Coach Hudson is in the building. He says, salute to our brother Stormy. Peace to the chat. Yes, sir. Welcome. Let's see who else we got out there. Okay, the rest of y'all. My brother 78 Sports TV, the General, in the building this evening. Peace to you, brother. Good to see you out there. Before we get into our show, I'm going to take a serious moment out to give you guys some news that's very important. I was given a ring. Clarence McLean, what's happening with you? Scrapbook Boxing. His son, Pops, got in touch with me and let me know that our brother Scrapbook is once again dealing with some serious issues. He has suffered a stroke and a minor heart attack and is in recovery currently. So this is a reason why we have not seen Scrapbook around. I had reached out to him a couple of times and hadn't received a message back or a return call or anything. So a lot of times when that comes around with Scrapbook, what we do is we just kind of wait it out with him because he's a very busy brother. However, when his son, Pops, got in touch with me, I knew it was important. And I told him I would share on the air that the plight of what Scrap is dealing with currently, and he's a very private man, but he does appreciate the well wishes and the prayers, and please hold him up in prayer, because Scrap is a man that is dealing with a number of health issues over the past couple of years, and it's been like one thing after another. He had COVID and almost passed during the pandemic situation. And we all know that we lost our brother Curtis Anderson, aka Kurt Sugar. It's been about 3 going on 4 years now that we lost Kurt. And Kurt succumbed to complications from diabetes. So it's a serious thing out here, you people, when we understand that what we do and how we try to take it to the max for not only the entertainment, but for the educational aspect of covering our, for lack of a better term, our interests, this being boxing. But Kurt was known to have many hats. He was a devout appreciation person that had a background in house music and literary arts. So is Scrapbook. Now, Scrapbook has been acquiring, and dealing with resource material regarding boxing since he was 7 years old, thus the nickname Scrapbook, when his dad introduced him to it. So he's currently working on a book to put out that talks about the plight of the black fighter and the obstacles that the black fighter has faced in championship season in the sport of boxing. The last I spoke with him, the book is nearly complete. So again, we're talking about holding on to a valuable commodity in the community with someone with so much knowledge and backdrop in the sport of boxing. Let me tell you something about me. People refer to me as a historian. I don't consider myself a historian. I'm a person that's been around to have been able to see quite a number of bouts, but I've researched bouts and gone back into film libraries and things of that nature, but I could not hold a candle to either Scrap or Kurt. Kurt had a memory like a computer. He can recall dates and times and outfits that he wore, food that he ate, and all of those things. And it was never facetious. It was never fake or phony. He was true to it. One of my favorite stories is him telling me about, I believe it was the Hagler-Hearns fight, where he was there with his dad and his uncles, and they took up a row of seats. There were several of them. And he told me his dad leaned over and told him, he's like, son, you see all these men here lined up in this row? He said, all of them got 45s on them. Man, Kurt was something. One of the best storytellers that you could ever meet. That's why the 3 Wise Men of Boxing show is so valuable, because to be able to sit up and watch that show, you get a lot from it with these 2 men sharing, and me basically, keeping it going just by tossing, hey, what about this? What about that? You know what I'm saying? It's like working in and keeping these men going to entertain us all. So, we need our brothers. We need them. And Kurt is still here in spirit, and we remember and revere all that he brought to the airwaves and could hold a conversation with anybody. What a hell of a gentleman he was. And Scrapbook being more private, but an intellectual when it came down to the sport of boxing. There were so many fights that he saw in person. Now, he was a man who was there, seated usually in the first or the second row. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, a little further back. But as you listen to Scrap tell it, I was there, second row. You know, he would tell you. So please uphold he and his family in your prayers that he's able to pull through like the champion that he is and has been in representation for what he does when it comes to our beloved sport of boxing. Now, to get back into our subject for this evening, at what price do you compromise? You see, when I spoke of these two gentlemen, Scrap and Kurt, they were men of integrity. You can ask Blue Blood Sports TV about his relationship with Kurt. Kurt would come on and give you the best of what he had to offer through memory, through experience, through research, and make a light for a path of understanding our beloved sport. And integrity is a word that can definitely be associated and attributed to Curtis Anderson, aka Kurt Sugar, as Scrapbook Boxing as well. So it is a pleasure for me to still be here to tell you guys about these gentlemen, because that is the importance, the significance of why we do what we do out here. You know, and a special salute to our brother 78 Sports TV, who created the community for the LDBC to allow a safe haven for certain individuals to come and partake and enjoy what we do, as we have become the Lion's Den broadcasting community. Yeah, that's what you have to have an appreciation for, to be able to take your talents, skills, and abilities and present them under an umbrella, of creative minds, not like-minded minds, because a lot of us differ in opinion, philosophy, even execution of an exhibition of our talents. Some of us can be very vocal and outstanding, some of us a little less articulate, some of us a little more profane, but we get the job done, you see? And that's what's important, because the audience is vast. You have people out there who will listen religiously, but they may not write a single word in the chat. You've got people out there who will support with super chats and donations to the channels and may just give you 5 minutes. Others will peep through the blinds in the bushes. You know what I'm saying? And they do that because there's something to be seen over there. And guess what? Laden with integrity. Because no matter what is the opposition, we continue to persevere and push forward. You see how I tie that together when we talk about integrity? There's no debating. No, there's just the exhibition and the execution of putting out quality content, earnest content, news that you can use, information that can be learned, passed on, passed down, handed up. That's why we do what we do. Getting into the sport, we've seen some individuals compromise, and it's disappointing at times when you could see that sometimes there are those who do this simply because they feel the heat. the heat of being able to stand on something firm that you believe in, heavily influenced with people speaking in their ear because they don't have necessarily the aptitude to be able to decipher and be objective in thought and action on their own. So those influences can assist in pushing someone in a certain direction. The most recent example of this we've seen is Gervonta Tank Davis, who is now going to face Jake Paul in a match of some kind. It initially started out being touted as an exhibition, but by the time the date rolls around, November 14th, it could be something different. But many people were disappointed to find out that Tank had decided to go ahead, as he had initiated and intimated that he would be taking on an opportunity like this. They were disappointed that he didn't go ahead and face Lamont Roach in a rematch of a fight that saw their initial bout be more competitive than people had anticipated. But if you truly knew the sport and knew the background of these men, you would know that they were familiar, having faced one another in the amateurs and knowing one another from the locale. You see, it's important to know more about the fighters than their hairstyles, their attire, the tattoos on their bodies, their body shapes and sizes, all of that kind of foolishness. When I had heard Tank Davis say that he had never watched Marvin Hagler, it told me all I needed to know about the young man. But you participate in a sport in which he did and became a legendary name, prominent in the sport. To be associated with something like that is vitalizing. It is something that should give you motivation and aspiration, inspiration. But as we could see that the new gen of athletes, entertainers, they pretty much have no foundation. Living in and growing up in a society that has something like the internet, where you can receive what I consider information overload. And because it is information overload, that doesn't mean that what's being loaded, downloaded, accepted, received, and documented, indoctrined, is good, positive. Because you can go out to sea, the ocean, but you shouldn't drink from it. Huh? Yeah, you could get sick. Having no foundation, no solid structure to stand upon, where someone has fortified you with the gift of insight, understanding, attentiveness, objectivity, to be able to take these virtues in and to be able to apply them when you go out in life. All of that is very important. But if it's been shaky, If all they did when you were growing up was give you a tablet or a phone to entertain you, let you sit in front of the television 24/7. Poisonous. I remember my dad telling a story of someone he knew had brothers and sisters. The Three Stooges were popular in the 40s and 50s. Moe, Larry, and Curly, the original Three Stooges. Moe was the bully out of the group. He bullied the other two, but all three were numbskulls. And when Moe got upset at the other two for whatever reason, which was often, he'd do something physical to them. Poke them in the eye, punch them in the face, hit them in the gut, whatever he felt like. But they had this thing that they would do with objects. A piece of wood, a ball bat, a hammer. And sometimes Moe would hit Larry and Curly on the head with a hammer or one of those objects. Bing, 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 and the sound effects would make it, and they'd be, oh, you know, they crazy, right? My dad told me this story sitting in the room watching some friends and siblings. Three Stooges was on TV. And they're sitting there laughing at the TV and everything. And little sister, who was about 6 years old, everybody else was a couple years older, she went and got the hammer and hit one of them in the head. Bing! Blood everywhere. Now, they were old enough to know if you get hit in the head with a hammer, for real, consequences. But she was smaller and younger than them. She didn't know any better. But soon after that, the Three Stooges stopped in that household. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Control what's being received. There was a time when television would go off the air, 1 o'clock in the morning, play the national anthem with a United States flag waving in the wind, and television would go off. Come back on about 7 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. Television never goes off now. If you got cable, apps, Apple TV, if you have tablets, cell phones, social media, you can watch me for 24 hours if you want. I ain't gonna be here for 24 hours, but past content or whatever that I've produced, you can go and binge watch this, that, to the degree that you say, you know what, I'm sick of Stormy. It could happen. So, information overload leads to subliminal influences for you. And the word integrity, it is like important because all of that information overload is integral to your output, what you produce of self now. When do you turn it off? When do you exhale? When do you catch your breath? When do you catch some Z's? Do you know that you require a certain amount of sleep to sustain life and to be productive in life? Without that, not only does the productivity fall off, your physical efforts fall off, but your psychological depletes immeasurably. Do you notice how you see so many people acting out now? On binges, just they do stuff on impulse without thought, and then they cry when they being carried away in cuffs. Haven't you seen Tank Davis taken away in cuffs? Haven't you seen him sit up and talk about being depressed and don't want to do this and don't want to do that? I've often asked, where is his teaching? Remember, Mr. Ford and all of those other guys that work with him in the gym? Yeah, he's 30 years old, a man-child, because he hasn't been cultivated. He was treated like a commodity. Run, kick, punch, do this, do that. Never given, hey, let me teach you something here. Sit down. Let's have a conversation. Do I not talk about boxing and life and boxing? When I worked with people in the gym, I used to tell them what I tell you in here tonight, this day, as I'm telling you all who are listening to me in this show tonight. You can carry with you outside these doors, and your life will be enriched as a result of the experience. I've always stood by that. You can give more through conversation and interaction. You know why? Not just being physical, because anybody can ball these up and strike. But not everyone can take these that can be balled up and tuck them away. Just because the heart pumps, just because the blood pressure rises, just because the emotion gets heated. When your car overheats, what do you do? Let's see, for all of y'all who out there driving, I want to see if you know the answer. You're driving. You don't even have to be on the expressway, but your car is running hot. It's starting to overheat. What do? That's a question I'm asking. No, main biker. No. You don't pull over, turn it off, and put on coolant. One of the first things that you can do is turn on the heat in the vehicle and turn it on high with the blower. Do you know why? It relieves the pressure from the engine. When you pull over and turn the car off, the pressure and heat goes into combustion because it's sealed now. When a man gets heated due to being crossed up over some circumstance, what does he do to cool down? To cool down. You're hot-tempered, but you need to cool down. Most people, when they see red, when they're on 10, the brain shuts down. The thoughts do not flow. That's why you can't be tempered to be cool and let things go and let it slide and everything. No, you gotta, oh, he called me this and that. I gotta get him. Under pressure is when the mind is supposed to go to work. Supposed to. The reason why most end up pushing the envelope, ending up in bad places such as the jailhouse, hospital, the cemetery. Very little thought process went on while they were seeing red. Think about it. Anyone you know that got in some trouble, typically got in trouble for going too far or being pulled in, or just lost control. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Stormy, what does all this got to do with boxing and this and that or whatever? We're talking about integrity. The loss of discipline allows for the lack of integrity. In martial arts, they teach you combative forms of physical execution, but there's a serenity that is supposed to be incorporated with that to allow the mind to be peaceful. Just because you can hit someone doesn't mean that you should. But when you learn the real true martial art, you learn why not to hit someone because you could. So the disciplines of that are supposed to help maintain in other areas. So lack of integrity typically places you somewhere where you truly don't want to be. We recently also heard the news that Jaron Boots Ennis has gone to Camp Canelo or Camp Clenbuterol or Camp Cheatham. Pick one. But for some reason, he just had to be over there, huh? A former world title holder, because he has left the welterweight division, according to what I've heard. To become a sparring partner for Canelo. Interesting. Now you know why he turned down all those other fights. Lack of integrity. Oops. Yeah. Him too. But he ain't the only one. Tank ain't the only one. There are so many. There are content creators out here. Lack of integrity, huh? Speaking on what they shouldn't speak on. Igniting the attitudes and causing dissension between others. Not bringing you the real. What I'm speaking this evening is real shit. You can put that in the pipe and smoke it all night long. It won't change on you. There is value in wisdom. And when wisdom comes from an entity or source, relatable, experienced, why not take that from whom has walked the path, been inspired to show a path, than to put blinders on and walk right into a wall or off a cliff or into the ocean? What I'm sharing with you is of value. Much. From what I understand, Mr. Ennis, his dad trains him, right? Teaches him. Brought him up. Where's that aspect about passing on integrity? Uh-oh. You want to take that as an insult? No, it's a question, an inquiry into where do your loyalties lie, sir? Now, some people will say, well, he got to get that bag. We all need bags to make it in life, but some of us have a little heavier bag than others, do we not? Huh? But sometimes that bag may not have as much dinero in it as it has dirt, soil, waste. Who is there to make the distinction of which is what? Oh, but if you've never been taught which is what, then quite naturally you can be entrapped. Could you not? Ooh. How many of you think that Canelo enlisted his services to simply utilize a familiarity with a youthful fighter with pop, speed, the ability to switch southpaw and orthodox? How many do you all really believe that? Canelo has over 63, 64 fights in his career. Boots barely has half of that. So you mean to tell me that Boots is going to show him something he hasn't seen before? Absolutely not. What if this is more about Boots and Canelo than Canelo and Crawford? Oops. objectivity, to use the mind. When the mind is at peace, when the mind is calm, there are so many things that you can envision. But when you're hot-headed, red-tempered, thick, not many are able to use that leveling out, and understanding. Not many. Why do you think that is? I told you earlier what that is. Abdullah Mason is about to fight for a world title. There are certain fighters he could have gotten in the ring and sparred with to make it look good. But they believe in what they're doing, and they're moving a certain kind of way. The moves that this young man has been making is almost as if Pops, his dad, hasn't told him a darn thing. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but look at the calculated moves. He is so far removed from what potential told just a couple of years ago. It's unbelievable. And this latest move right here is questionable on so many fronts that some people have even built a defense and explanation for him, for what he's done. And he can't even explain his own damn moves. I'm going to stay at welterweight. I have no problems making the weight. I'm moving up. Doctors are saying that I can't fight here, is dangerous to my health. Which one is it? Now you're a sparring partner. Getting banged around in the gym by a guy whose people refer to you as Mayate. Yeah. You're not a brother to them. What you are to them, I would love to say on the air, but I will not. If you think the roles were reversed and Canelo would do you that solid, you got another thing coming, bro. Another thing coming. The mere fact that your teeth are showing through that gum shield speaks volumes about how ignorant you are. Canelo's bearing no teeth. That means something. Yeah. You think I'm lying? Let's look at a man who's great. Posing with Canelo. See this image right here? I was actually going to take it. I had it in my queue. I was going to take it out of my queue because I was using this image for something else in a different show. But it was perfect because I'm talking about integrity. Now, Who looks like they're most happy in this shot? Does Canelo look enamored with the legendary Roy Jones? Or does the legendary Roy Jones appear to be just a bit giddy to have his arm around Cinnamon? You see? Integrity, people. Integrity. I could go on and on and on. And maybe I'll do a part 2 to this, because it is something that, even with what I've stated, I haven't even got to the meat of my material yet. But I did have to talk about Scrapbook first. That was with respect and honoring the fact that I let Pops know that I was going to get that information out so that the prayers can go up for Scrapbook. That was more important than anything that I wanted to do of myself here. But notice, I haven't had a problem articulating the subject in no shape, form, or fashion. But I wanted you to see the difference. This is how it is supposed to appear when it's genuine, huh? Yeah. See the teeth on both men? You see the embracing of the moment of having something real and fresh. That means something, people. This is a teachable moment. Oh, now, don't get your thoughts in a bunch, because I have another. Look at this. Do you see the same? The same. Yeah. I brought that on purpose. Because see, you guys, you want to pick sides, huh? You want to choose this one and that one and go to war with this one and that one. But you're the same. You dummies. Do you not know that the greater battle is against your oppressor? 24/7, 365. Ever since you were birthed alive. Yeah. I tell you guys, there is much to be said, and it will be. You just have to come back here, huh? Because I'm always going to give it to you straight. There's many who don't care, and they'll be out there. And what do they have to offer, huh? That look like this? Yeah. That's how they look at you, huh? But do you think I care? Do you really think that I care? Absolutely not. The message isn't for everybody. And as I've been known to say, everybody ain't gonna make it. Huh? Let's hear from my man, the focus ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the focus ball. Dramatically improve footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a focus ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a focus ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a focus ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a focus ball. When you train with the focus ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the focus ball now.
Yeah. The focus ball is what you should be getting, huh? That's right. Yeah. So we come to the end of another Tuesday Tussle, man. I will come back and revisit this particular subject because there's so much more I have to say on it. But it doesn't take all night to do what I got to do. And so I leave you with that hanging on for something more in the future. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody. Have a great week ahead.
What a nice day. Look at Jessica. Jessica, what are you doing? You know you can't swim. Get away from the water, Jessica. Jessica, get away from the... Oh, my God. Somebody help Jessica, please. She can't swim. Go help Jessica, run. Jessica, no. Oh, my God. No, Jessica. No, the water is pulling her back in. Where's the lifeguard? Lifeguard, hurry up. She can't swim. Jessica, no! Jesus! Jessica, Jessica. Lifeguard, please save her! Yes, 2 lifeguards! Save her, no! Please, Jessica! Oh, look, hey, is that husband is coming? Oh, do one of them dead. Hey, please, save her. Jessica, they're coming now. They're here, Jessica.